Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Friends, I took time off yesterday. Actually, I took time off today as well. I was trying to get a video done on Allogene earnings, but my heart was not on it. I recorded it twice, didn't like it, I discarded it. By then it was already 11 p.m. and I just said I'll hit the sack. I took time off and went for a walk with my dog, spent quality time with my wife over a long walk in the evening because the weather is getting better out here. And I think that was all I needed. And then we started watching The Gentleman on Netflix. Boy, it's a very interesting story from Guy Ritchie. Check it out if you have some time. I'm hooked onto it, and I didn't want to leave it, but I said I have to make this video. So I came up here. I'm feeling refreshed, and the creativity is coming back again. And also looking forward to 22nd March when the cricket IPL will be starting. And there are so many distractions, but we investors have got to be retaining our focus because that's what we need to do, and I'll try to do that. That said, today's topic is going to either get you say, Raj, this is great, thank you, or you will say, Raj, I don't want to be a scientist, just tell me which stock I need to buy and when I need to buy. So either way, the topic today is that I'm going to explain very briefly the gene editing technology progress of what is currently in use in creating various therapies, and then I'll show you a plethora of Cas nucleases that are in test with fantastic capabilities, and they might come into use in the future. And then we'll take a quick look, we'll revisit Arbor, and we'll look at the diagram they had about the Cas nucleases that they have discovered, which is not yet published. So with that, what I'm going to say is I'm going to make a point to you that we are just at the beginning of genomic medicine, and the future is very bright. So with that said, let's get started. Welcome back, friends. It all started with CRISPR. CRISPR is this incredible tool that scientists borrowed from bacterial immune systems. At this point of time, I'm going to put a table on the screen so that you can see everything as we go, and it will help you to read more. So as I said, that CRISPR is basically an incredible tool that scientists borrowed from bacterial immune systems. It's amazing because it's super precise and it is efficient, and almost like a molecular pair of scissors, you can program it to target specific genes and make changes to them. This means we can potentially treat diseases by editing out the problematic genes and inserting healthy ones. In theory, yes. It's been used to target various genetic diseases like sickle cell disease and cancer. We have had success, but all those successes are qualified successes, and we can do better. So there are merits and demerits for CRISPR gene editing with CRISPR-Cas9, and we already know about the off-base edits and problems when automatic repair takes place when double-stranded breaks happen. So that brings us to the next version of gene editing, which is base editing. It's like fine-tuning the genetic code with a pencil instead of scissors. It allows us to make a precise change to single letters of the DNA code without causing too much collateral damage. This is great for disease caused by small changes in DNA like a nucleotide here or there or an indel, but it's not perfect. Sometimes nearby letters can get accidentally changed too, which could lead to unintended consequences. And it uses Cas9 nickase, so there's a refined Cas9 molecule that is being used in order to make base editing possible. But base editing can't handle situations where you need to edit a whole huge sequence without doing double strand breaks, and that's where we come to prime editing. Prime editing is like the molecular word processor. It's a newer technique that allows us to insert new genetic material directly into the DNA without making big cuts. This could be really helpful for diseases caused by multiple mutations which are close together in the gene, but it's still quite complex and might not be perfect at targeting exactly where we want it to. And that brings us to another technique called as epigenome editing. Epigenome editing is a bit different. Instead of changing the genetic code itself, it modifies how genes are expressed. It's like adjusting the volume knob on a radio rather than changing the song. And this approach could be useful for diseases where genes are turned off or turned on when they shouldn't be, like muscular dystrophy. And finally, we also have what is called as Cas mini. And Cas9 is an exciting development in gene editing. It's like a mini version of the traditional Cas9 enzyme designed to be more efficient and less toxic. This could make delivering gene therapies easier and safer. However, we are still learning about how effective it is compared to other CRISPR enzymes. So there is more research needed in this area. So these are all at the forefront of gene editing in the industry at this point of time. Now I'm going to show you a collection of Cas nucleases that I have taken from various parts of the internet. What you see here is a spreadsheet. I'm showing you the collection of Cas data that I'm right now trying to understand. I believe these are all nucleases that are right now under study, and they have various properties. For example, I'm very excited about one of these out here, which has got a size of just 500. Now, if you compare that with CRISPR, with Cas9, the original nuclease, I think this is very tiny. This is almost, I think, 20% of the size. So there is size advantage here, and there are some which are bigger. And there are other advantages also. They would be for specific application, depends on the PAM that they can address. So I'm still trying to learn all these things and understand what is happening here, because I suspect that many of these will end up in actual gene therapies, where companies will license these nucleases and start creating gene therapies using them. So it's very nice to know which companies or which research institutions own these patents and where it is going to go and who is likely to use it. So that will give us a clue of new companies that might get created, new platform companies that might get created. At one point of time, we hardly thought that we could do anything to address the root cause of diseases. We were only treating symptoms. And now, since the discovery of CRISPR-Cas9, the whole area has opened up, and we have discovered so many different specialist nucleases which have specific properties and specific footprint and affinities. It's amazing. It's a bright new future. Now keep this in mind. I'm also going to show you one more screen that we have seen before. You'll recognize it. As you can see here, I have this screen from Arbor Biotech. Of course, I have been excited about Arbor Biotech, and I keep harping about it. I'll stop talking about this for the next 2 or 3 weeks at least, I promise you. But this last one time, please indulge me. If you look at this segment out here where they're talking about new discoveries with novel properties, they have this chart here with a lot of these blue dots. Each one of them represents a nuclease family that they have discovered, Arbor have discovered, which has not been found in any published literature so far, which means it is unique to Arbor. And it's up to them when they're going to publish it and how they're going to patent these things. Now, if you see the orange dots here, they represent the one that are currently published, and some of them may be in use. So that's what we have here. That's why I'm very excited about Arbor as well. So it's a bright, interesting future. And the reason why I made this segment is that I wanted to share with you my excitement for genomic investment and gene therapy companies, because even with the very limited CRISPR-Cas9, we already have treatment for sickle cell disease and beta thalassemia. We also have a whole bunch of CAR-T therapies that are curing blood cancers and lymphomas, and we are working towards curing solid tumors. Things are all progressing very well, even with the limited capability of gene editing that we already have. And when you look at all these other Cas molecules that are being studied, each one of them has got different properties, and especially I'm excited about the Cas molecules which are tinier, because then we can pack more into the delivery vector, which will be either lentivirus or AAVs, and do much more accurate editing. So when all these start coming into the mainstream and being available for genomic companies for creating gene therapies, I think not only are we going to see more improved therapies for something like sickle cell disease and beta thalassemia, and maybe more efficient CAR-T therapies, but also we are likely to see other approaches which are probably not visualized at this point of time, but will become more feasible to cure various diseases and to tackle various pathogens like viruses and bacteria. So I'm quite excited about this, and also the application that this might probably have for agriculture is also another thing that is going to be very important, because as the population grows and as the weather becomes more extreme, we might need more hardy crops and more high yielding crops which take less water, less light, and still produce a lot of nutrition. So applications are boundless and we are just getting started. I just want to leave you with one more thought. We have mining companies in which people are invested for years. When a mining company goes after a land that it has been given license to exploit, they come out with shares and they say this is the land and we are going to do this and we're going to find diamonds, we're going to find gold, we're going to find copper, and so on and so forth. And then they start taking soil samples and they dig and they find this and that. And many times they come back and say, okay, we got traces of the element but not in the concentration so that it can be commercially viable. So that money is gone. So that's the risk factor in those kind of mining companies. Take the case of oil. I'm giving you these examples because we have gold mines which are very profitable. We have got oil companies which are making billions of dollars. But in the beginning, when they started prospecting in open seas and land, there was no guarantee that they were going to strike oil. At that time also people invested and a lot of money was lost when oil was not found. So those things happen in various industries which are now mature industries. Now when I look at gene therapies, I think considering those kind of companies in genomic investment, I think our risks are much more quantifiable and it's a very scientific pursuit. And there are platform companies which are focusing on coming up with Cas nucleases and editing systems and editing platforms. And there are gene therapy companies which are focused purely on using those platforms and tools in order to tackle a particular genomic disease. And these platform companies prove that their technology can work in order to do the editing, and they also produce accuracy details. And they license it for a specific disease, for a specific company, for a specific period, so that the companies do not waste any time and they do not sit on that like people squat on domains. We don't have that in the gene editing field. So the field is well organized, and the people who are giving licenses for various gene editing technologies are very, very smart people. And when they give license to a company to work on sickle cell disease, they ask that company, which genes are you going to edit? How are you going to deliver this? And then they give license only for that, not for everything under the sun. So if another company comes to them and says, I also want to tackle sickle cell disease, they will ask them for their strategy. And when the company shows a different strategy, then they can license to those companies also. So it's a non-exclusive license that they are giving. So it's organized brilliantly. That can help the platform companies to sustain. But I think that the platform companies will also have to do their own therapy research and come up with some therapies, because patents will expire after a period of time. And for these companies to be viable long term, they have to take their own research and use it to create some solution for various diseases, so that they have therapies in place, and that generates revenue going forward. So it's all looking good, my friends. And in the future, I anticipate that sickle cell therapy and TDT, which has got Casgevy, Lifegenia, and we have the new one that is coming up, which is Genicell, if it gets approved. All of those will be first gen therapies, and I'm expecting that some of these nucleases are going to deliver really good tools that can help scientists to craft the next gen therapy for the same diseases, which are going to be easier to administer, which are going to have less risks and less side effects, which will perhaps have better patient experience and better patient outcomes. So overall, I am thinking that the future is very bright, and we have invested in gene technology. We have suffered through the period of time when the interest rates have been high and the shares have been at the rock bottom, and company after company issuing extra equities and diluting equities and proceeding further, trudging along the way. And we saw success with CRISPR Therapeutics, and we already seen how much the share has jumped since Casgevy got approved. And there are CAR-T therapies in CRISPR portfolio which are fully owned. So that's all going to push the price of the share higher. And anyone who got in at the ground floor and had the patience to wait for a long period of time, they're going to make money. And of course, let me also emphasize to you, friends, there is no one best way to make money. It's not essential that you put all your money in genomics and just wait here. There is artificial intelligence, and then there is the time-trusted retail industry and automobile industry, and there are various industries which are available out there where you can put your money, spread your risks and everything. So the most important thing for us investors is always to identify where the future is and who are going to be the big players in the future, and take a small stake in there, manage our risks, so that when that future comes to be and the past goes away, we still have a foothold and we still have a good deal of investment in the future, and we keep ourselves viable as investors. So do not put everything in the kitchen sink into one technology or one company. Spread it around and take calculated risks. And on my part, this video was made to show you that I'm studying all these emerging technologies that are coming up, and in future, when any of these become viable, I'll have a video out for you, and we'll talk about who made it viable, who owns the patent, who has been granted the patent for which diseases, and we'll start monitoring them. With that, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end, and I'll catch up with you again. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye for now. Hey all, this is Raj here. Thanks for supporting the channel so far by becoming subscribers and viewers of our videos. If you're not yet subscribed, press the subscribe button now. This is the right time. And to help me grow further with this channel, I would request that you consider becoming a member. And in order to make it easy for you, I'm introducing a new membership level at just 10 cents per day or $2.99 for the month. It's just like giving me a cup of coffee once in a while. Wouldn't you like to do that? Please check out our membership section and become a member today. It'll really help me progress this channel further and give me a sense of accomplishment. Look forward to see you at the membership section. I'll catch up with you again. Bye for now.